6 underrated bulletproof SUVs hiding on used car lots right now. So, you walked onto a used car lot with $15,000, full of hope, and somehow drove home with a headache, a brochure, and zero car. Yeah, we've all been that person. Today we fix that. And trust me, number one on this list, that one's gonna slap you in the face. All right, let's get into it, starting at number 6. Number 6, Mazda CX-9. Okay, number 6, the Mazda CX-9. Now, when most people hear Mazda, they think of that little zoom car their college roommate drove. They do not think three-row family SUV. And that right there is exactly why this thing is sitting on used car lots at a discount, while people walk straight past it to go stare at a Highlander that costs $8,000 more. Here's the thing about the CX-9. Mazda has quietly been building some of the most reliable vehicles on the market for years. J.D. Power reliability scores, Consumer Reports ratings. Mazda consistently punches way above its price point. The CX-9 in particular is a full three-row SUV that seats 7, has a premium interior that honestly makes you feel like you spent a lot more than you did, and it runs a turbocharged 2.5-liter engine that's both spirited and efficient. Used models from 2018 to 2021 are going for somewhere between $22,000 and $30,000 depending on trim and mileage. And for what you're getting, that is a steal. Now, is it perfect? No. The third row is a little tight for adults. It's really best for kids or short trips. And you're not going to find a V6 option because Mazda went with the Turbo 4 across the board. Some people don't love that, but here's the thing. That engine has proven itself dependable over hundreds of thousands of miles when properly maintained. This is a sleeper pick, a stylish, well-built, surprisingly fun-to-drive sleeper pick. But if you want something with a bit more grunt, more off-road capability, and a legendary name and reliability, you're going to want to hear about number 5, because this one has a fan base that borders on obsessive, and they're obsessive for a reason. Number 5. The Toyota 4Runner. Okay, so technically the 4Runner isn't some hidden secret. People know about the 4Runner, but here's why it's on this list. Used ones are hiding in plain sight at prices that make 0 sense given how long these things last, and a lot of buyers overlook them because they look a little boxy and old school compared to newer crossovers. And that boxiness, that's not a bug. That's the feature. The 4Runner has been running on essentially the same body-on-frame platform since 2010. And before you say that's old, that's exactly why it's on this list. Toyota didn't reinvent the wheel every 3 years. They stuck with a formula that works. A 4.0-liter V6, part-time four-wheel drive, legendary off-road capability, and a reputation for hitting 200,000, 300,000. Some owners even hit 400,000 miles with regular maintenance. A used 2015 to 2019 4Runner in good condition typically runs between $28,000 and $38,000. That sounds like a lot until you realize you might drive this thing for the next 15 years without a single major repair. The fuel economy is honestly rough. You're getting around 17 miles per gallon combined. That's the main trade-off. It drinks gas like it's got a point to prove. But if longevity and capability are your priority, there is almost nothing better at this price point in the used market. It's not a luxury ride, it's not refined, it's tough, dependable, and it will outlast nearly everything else on this list. Now, what if I told you there's an SUV on this list that gives you almost as much long-term reliability as the 4Runner, but at a significantly lower price with better fuel economy, and you can find it almost anywhere? That's number 4, and it's one of the most underestimated vehicles in American automotive history. Number 4, the Honda Pilot. The Honda Pilot is the minivan of SUVs, meaning people make fun of it, refuse to buy it, and then eventually cave because it's just so practical and well-built that it becomes impossible to ignore. If you've got a family and you need space, reliability, and low ownership costs, the Pilot is one of the best decisions you can make. Second-generation Pilots, that's the 2016 to 2022 model years, are what you want to look for. Honda cleaned up some rough spots from the generation before, upgraded the interior significantly, and kept that proven 3.5-liter V6 that has appeared in Hondas for years with almost no serious complaints. These go for anywhere from $20,000 to $32,000 used, depending on trim and mileage. And here's something a lot of people don't realize. The Honda Pilot consistently lands in the top tier of used three-row SUV reliability. It's not exciting. It's
Engine
not
starts
going to win
immediately,
any
no
coolest
hesitation.
car in the parking lot awards. But it starts every single
Have a good
morning,
day at
it
school.
hauls your whole crew
Routine
comfortably,
oil
and the
change,
maintenance costs are some of the
under
lowest in the segment.
$80.
The sweet spot is a used Pilot EXL. You get leather, heated seats, a sunroof, and Honda sensing safety tech without paying for the higher trims that don't really add anything you'll use daily. But what if you want all that practicality, but you also want something that feels a little more premium, a little more upscale? Something that says, I did my research without screaming, I paid full price. That's number 3. And most people don't even know this nameplate exists. Number 3, the Kia Telluride. I know what you're thinking. Kia? Really? Yes, really. Sit down. The Kia Telluride launched in 2020 and immediately started winning every single award it could get its hands on. Motor Trend SUV of the Year, Car and Driver 10 Best. It was everywhere. And then the pandemic hit, supply chains went crazy, and Tellurides were selling at, I'm not joking, $10,000 to $15,000 over sticker price. People were paying luxury money for a Kia. But here's where it gets good for us. That insane demand has cooled. Used Tellurides from 2020 and 2021 are now landing in the $30,000 to $38,000 range at used lots. And for that money, you are getting one of the best designed, best built three-row SUVs ever made at any price point. The interior quality, the space, the technology, it competes directly with stuff from Lexus and Acura that costs $15,000 to $20,000 more. Kia also extended their powertrain warranty on newer models, and the 3.8-liter V6 in the Telluride has proven itself solid across hundreds of thousands of real-world owners. J.D. Power gave it top marks. Consumer Reports? Top marks. Yes, it's a Kia. And 10 years ago, that mattered. Today, Kia builds legitimately world-class vehicles. The Telluride is the proof. Now we're getting into the real heat. Number 2 is a vehicle so reliable, so underrated, and so criminally underpriced on used lots right now that people in the automotive industry genuinely can't explain why more people aren't buying it. Stay with me. We're almost at number 1. Number 2, and I'm giving you 2 for 1 here, the Subaru Outback and the Subaru Forester. Now, technically, these are not traditional SUVs. Subaru calls the Outback a sport utility wagon and the Forester a compact SUV. But functionally, these things do everything a midsize SUV does, and in several ways they do it better. Here's what makes Subaru special. Standard all-wheel drive on every single model. Not optional. Not an upgrade. Standard. You're never going to get caught off guard in rain, snow, or slippery conditions in a Subaru. The symmetrical all-wheel drive system is genuinely one of the best in the business. Used Outbacks from 2018 to 2021 are going for $20,000 to $28,000. Used Foresters from the same era, even cheaper, sometimes $16,000 to $24,000. That is exceptional value for a vehicle with standard AWD, strong safety ratings, and a reputation for going well past 200,000 miles. The 2.5-liter Boxer 4-cylinder isn't going to thrill you, but it's dependable, gets decent fuel economy, and it's been in Subarus for decades for a reason. It works. One honest caveat: earlier models had some oil consumption issues. Always check the maintenance history and get a pre-purchase inspection. But a well-maintained Subaru Outback or Forester bought used is genuinely one of the smartest used car purchases you can make right now. And that brings us to number 1, the one I've been hinting at since the beginning, the one that, when you're done watching this video, you are going to immediately go search on every used car app on your phone. I promise you that. Let's go. Number 1, the Toyota Sequoia. Specifically, we're talking about the second generation Sequoia, 2008 to 2022. And if you're laughing right now because it's old, I need you to stick with me for 60 seconds because what I'm about to tell you will completely change how you think about this truck. The Toyota Sequoia didn't get a full redesign for nearly 15 years. And what Toyota did during those 15 years was spend that entire time refining, testing, and building what is now considered one of the most mechanically durable full-size SUVs ever produced. The 5.7-liter V8 in these trucks is revered in enthusiast communities the same way gearheads talk about legendary engines from the 60s and 70s. It is an iron block workhorse that simply does not quit. We're talking about full-size SUVs, towing up to 7,100 pounds, seating for 8, massive cargo room, and the full Toyota dealer network for parts and service everywhere in the country. You can find a 2014 to 2017 Sequoia at used lots right now for $22,000 to $35,000 depending on trim and miles. For a full-size V8 SUV that will realistically run past 300,000 miles, that price is almost absurd. Now, yes, fuel economy is rough. This thing gets about 13 to 16 miles per gallon. If gas prices are your main concern, this is not your vehicle. But if you need capability, space, towing power, and you want to buy a used SUV that your kids might still be driving someday, the Sequoia is in a category of one at this price point. It's not underrated because it's secretly bad. It's underrated because most people are conditioned to chase shiny new things instead of battle-tested excellence. The Sequoia is battle-tested excellence on a used lot at a used car price. All right, there you have it. 6 bulletproof, underrated SUVs hiding on used lots right now, counting down from the solid to the exceptional. The Mazda CX-9, the Toyota 4Runner, the Honda Pilot, the Kia Telluride, the Subaru Outback and Forester, and sitting at the very top, the Toyota Sequoia. Now here's what I want to know from you. Drop it in the comments right now. Do you currently own any of these? Or, and this is the one that always starts a war in my comment section, is there a used SUV you think should have made this list that I completely left off? Because I already know somebody is typing, what about the Lexus GX right now? And honestly, you're not wrong. But that's a conversation for another video. Like this if it helped, subscribe if you want more real talk on used cars, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.